Hello everyone, welcome to the 225 Q&A practice. We're going to start off with defense questioning, and this will be at 225. Ready? At that time, were you employed by the state? I was employed by the state. In what capacity were you employed? State traffic officer. So that your job classification as of the time of the events that the subject of this lawsuit is about was the same as now, except that you were working out of a different office. Is that correct? That's correct. On that date, you were driving a black and white vehicle? No, I was not. What were you driving? I wasn't driving. What were you doing? I was riding as a passenger. And in what kind of a vehicle? A marked highway patrol vehicle. A black and white vehicle? Yes. And were you on duty at that time? I was. Do you remember the identification number on the vehicle that you were driving at that time? I don't recall the number. What was the type of tour of duty you were on? On the graveyard shift. That's the time. What was the type? Were you on enforcement or what? Routine patrol. Now, can you describe basically what routine patrol consists of? It consists of monitoring the freeways for vehicle code violations, assisting the motoring public, monitoring traffic for vehicle code violations. Yes. And you said that you were assisting traffic in what manner? Disabled motorist. Anything else that is part of the routine patrol that you can think of? No. And in regard to this aspect of assisting disabled motorists, did you have some kind of a booklet to guide you in how to perform these functions? No, I did not. And from where did you get your instructions on how to perform your duties in assisting disabled motorists? Most of it comes after you come out of the academy. You ride with another officer for 30 working days. On the date in question, had you just come out of the academy? No. Is there any reason why you were riding with this officer? Yes. What was the reason? On graveyard shift, you ride two men in a car. Is that the policy? Yes, it is. What time does the graveyard shift start? At 10 p.m. Then am I correct in assuming that your education and training in the duty of assisting a disabled motorist came from wherever the training you had received in the academy? I don't understand. How did you know what to do as far as assisting the disabled motorist? This was given mostly through your training officer after you come out in the field and start working. When did you come out of the academy? July 24. Do you remember the officer that you rode with for the first 30 days after you got out of the academy? Yes. What was his name? Officer Jones. Now, am I correct in assuming that you got no training while you were in the academy on how to perform your duties in assisting the disabled motorist? A very short dissertation on it. What do you mean by that? We were all to assist disabled motorists. Okay, switching transcripts. This is going to be plaintiff questioning. Here we go. Ready? How long have you worked for the Philadelphia Police Department? 3 years and approximately about 3.5 years. Did you have any police experience before that? No. Officer, we understand that you investigated an accident back on July 15, 2006 at the intersection of Grand and State Streets involving a couple named Michael and Susan Young. Does that seem correct to you? So far. Do you have your report with you with regard to that accident? Yes, I do. Please feel free to refer to it if and when you need to. Have you ever testified before, officer? I assume you must have somewhere along the line. Yes, I have. I won't pursue that then. Tell us when the accident in question happened, if you please. The accident occurred at approximately 8 o'clock on 7/15/06. Have you had a chance to read your report before we started? I just glanced through it a minute ago. Okay, aside from what is written down in your report, do you have any independent recollection of the accident? In other words, can you picture it in your mind at all? Nothing other than what is in the report. Does the report refresh your memory to some extent? Yes, it does. Do you recall if there was any construction going on in the vicinity of the accident scene? Yes, there was. Can you tell us what construction was going on down there at the time? They were working on the center of the raised dividers on State and Grand Streets. Let me check my report here. Sure, take your time. As I indicated earlier, they were doing construction on both State Street and Grand Street on the raised dividers. The number 1 left turn lane for northbound State Street traffic to go westbound on Grand was temporarily closed by the placement of orange traffic construction markers. That's to go from southbound to eastbound Grand. Those were the only construction markers at the accident scene at the time. I'm not sure if I missed it, but did you say the center island on Grand also? Right, there were no traffic control dividers at the time. They were in a state of construction, but they weren't actually completed at that particular time. There were no traffic control dividers set out other than the standard lane markings that are normally there. To your knowledge, was this the first installation of traffic lights, or had there been others there before? There was an installation of traffic lights at an earlier time. This has always been a signal lighted intersection in my experience with the Philadelphia Police Department. The signals were taken out and the new ones were installed with modern and updated timing devices. I don't know exactly what was done, but I know they installed new signals and they were working on them for quite a while. At the time of this accident on July 2006, was it new signals that were controlling traffic or the old signals? I can't say for sure. However, based on the fact that the center divider work was being done, I feel that there were the new set of signals. The men were working on the center dividers, working and filling in the actual divider itself. Do you know, either from your own memory or from what is on your report, whether the old signals were still physically there or had they been removed by the time this accident happened? I can't say. If there were new signals, naturally they were in place. Ernie and company were doing the work. Okay, now do you know where they base their operations? It's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I work with them periodically. I know they are an independent contractor, and I think the state hires them to do this type of signal work. That was tough to get out at 2:25 when I said Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's like a tongue twister. Okay, switching to another transcript. All right. Start with defense. So is there any reason why you didn't approach Renee and tell her? No, I just thought once I told Darren he was a lead person and then he stopped, so I told him. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, when you told Darren, I believe after the theater incident, what did he say to you? He said, well, that seems like the kind of stuff that Nick would do. Did he elaborate beyond that as to why he felt that way? No. And then tell me again, who is Katie? She is Nick's and Beth's boss. So it's kind of Katie. What is her title? What is her title now? No, at the time, what was it? Do you know? No, I just know she was their boss. So Katie is over Beth, Beth is over Nick, and Nick is over Renee? Yes. Is there any reason after the vacuuming incident you didn't tell Beth? I don't know. I just thought once I told Darren it would be solved. I didn't think I had to go around and tell the whole staff what happened. I thought once I told him it would stop. It would have been solved. They didn't do nothing about it. Did you ever ask Darren to follow up on it and report it? I told Darren. Darren said he would let someone know. That's all he told me. When did he tell you that? When I first told him. I told him twice. I told Darren when the first phone booth incident, when I was on the phone, we tried to look up to see who the Job Corps was. We couldn't find it. It was under the park ranger when I told Darren again. Okay, when did you tell Darren again? After the vacuuming. Okay. And when he went across me in the office, I told Darren everything and why it wasn't told to no one. I don't know. That's why I told him. I don't have the slightest idea. When something happened, you let the chain of command know. So I told Darren. I felt comfortable with telling him. I didn't want to go through this person, that person. I told him. When it didn't stop, I went to EOP. I talked to Katie and Beth. I contacted Katie and Beth on the phone and they asked me, okay, and I said yes. I told them everything that happened. A day later, I got termination papers from Katie. I went to get my paycheck. They wouldn't give it to me. They called the welfare lady. I tried to get on welfare to support my 6 kids. They told the welfare lady that I could have got my pay stub. Why I didn't get them. Excuses like, excuse me, I have got a witness. 2 people heard her say that. She can't give me nothing. She can't talk to me until I talk to Beth. That was it. Okay, let's go back to June of 06. Okay, when you talked to Darren after the June 06 vacuuming incident, did you ever say I wanted to report it? Darren told me he would let someone know. He's talking about, okay, so he was saying he would let somebody know down at the office. Yes, at corporate office. Okay, so June of '06, he said, I'm going to let someone know. Yes, once he did that, I just left it alone. So when was the next time that Nick Carter bothered you? After the theater. It was when I signed in at the office. That was also in '06? Yes. So what happened when you signed in? I went to sign in. Nick got out of his seat, came around, acted like he was trying to get past, took his hands, put it on my waist, and went across my behind with his privates and went around like he was going out and turned back around and sat in his chair. And then after that, I'm like, wait a minute, that is enough. I can't take this anymore. He's not going to stop. It's getting worse. Let's go back through that a little bit more slowly. Okay, so you go into the office to sign in. Yes. At the beginning of your shift. Yes. Did you sign in? I came in to sign in. Nick got up. Hold on. Where were you standing? At the sign-in sheet. Okay, and that is where is the sign-in sheet? In the office. Say, that's the door. The sign-in sheet is like right here behind him. Nick's desk is like right there. Nick got up. Okay, let's stop. Now, I need to get an idea of what the office looks like. We're going to go real slow through this part. So if this room, there's the door. When you walk in the door, there's Nick's desk right in front of the door. If I could just show you, you can draw a little picture. Do you want to do that? Okay, let's give him a pen so you can draw a picture of the room. Off the record for a minute, back on the record. All right, you have drawn a little diagram where you have got the door marked and you've got the sign-in sheet right next to the door. Is that right? Yes. So was the sign-in sheet on a cabinet right next to the door? It's like a little cabinet. A cabinet sits up a little bit higher than this table and everybody comes in the door and the sign-in sheet is right there and we just sign in right there. And then his desk is across from the door? Yes. So let's go ahead and mark this as Exhibit A and we'll just attach it. So on the day in question, you walked in the door, is that right? Yes. And then you signed in right next to the door? Yes. Then what did you do? I didn't have a chance to do anything. When I got in, finished signing, Nick got up. From his desk? From his desk. Went and grabbed, put his hand around my waist. Okay, let's stop right there. When he got up from his desk, where were you standing? Right in front of the sign-in sheet? Right next to the door? Right there, in front of the sign-in sheet, right in front of the door. So you walked in the door, you walked over to sign in, and Nick was sitting at his desk? Yes. So when you came in, it takes how long? 30 seconds? Sign my name, Patricia Dykes. So very quick. Yes, I wasn't in a hurry. I didn't get a chance to walk out until when I came in. He saw me. He got up, went over, put his hand around my waist to use his, like he was trying to get past, rubbed his private parts against my behind, walked, turned around, and sat back down. Okay, well, what did you do when he walked up behind you and put his privates up against your behind? I was like, I'm shocked. I'm like, what is going on? Because really, I thought he was trying to get past me. And then when I felt him rub himself across me, I was like, oh no, he didn't do that. This is enough. Then he acted like he was going to go out. And then, well, he turned back around and I was like, you did that on purpose. If he wasn't, he would have kept going. Why did he go to the end, turn around and come back to sit down? I just signed in and left. I couldn't take it anymore. So he was very definitely rubbing against the parts of on my behind, like he was trying to get past. He put his hand and he said, oh, excuse me. When he went past, then he was like trying to get past, but also pushing his stuff to my behind. Then were you in the door or were you at the cabinet? I was at the cabinet signing in. Okay, so you were in between his desk and the door? Correct, I was right there, in between. Where is the sign-in sheet? It is right there by the door. I didn't realize that much time had gone by. So that concludes our Q&A practice for the 225 class. Have a great day.